Welcome
to
Sleepdrunk.
Where, remember how I said last episode might have been our dumbest segment yet?
Well, this is our best segment yet.
I think this might be the dumbest. Okay,
depends on how you read it. So right now we're on this is like Oxon Hill, Maryland.
We're in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Alex's first time in Maryland.
Yeah, this is my first time in Maryland. My first time ever getting a sandwich from Quiznos, and we're sitting in my car in the parking lot of a shopping center.
And so we've decided, quite spontaneously, to drive to another state, a reasonable distance away from where we live, to acquire Quiznos. For those of you who don't know, which I think is like my catchphrase at this point, Quiznos is a chain of sandwiches. It's like a sandwich place. They make sandwiches. They're known for toasting their sandwiches. That's like a big thing. They toast them. That's their big selling point. We've decided to come to Oxon Hill, Maryland, to purchase Quiznos and consume Quiznos and do an in-car food review in the way of KBD Productions, Dame Drops, Rest in Peace's marriage. So yeah, Alex, what sandwich did you get?
Bankrupt and divorced. Anyway, so I got the 8-inch classic Italian on the rosemary and parmesan bread, and it was. Where's my receipt? It was a very reasonable price. It was $6.89, and I have to say this smells really good.
Yes, I got the 12-inch peppercorn steak on rosemary and parm as well. I paid a little bit more for it, but also I didn't have breakfast, so I'm very hungry.
Yeah, I did have a decent-sized breakfast.
So I also got some chips. I got Miss Vicky's jalapeno, which I think are
I started to pick Miss Vicky's jalapeno up. Those are just my favorite chip that I've ever had, but
those are good chips.
I just wasn't hungry enough.
Okay, so without further ado, do you want to get into the sandwiches?
Yeah, let's.
All right, cheers.
First bite. Yeah, that's a pretty average Italian sub. I haven't gotten to all of the flavory bits like the banana peppers that are in there, but from what I have gotten,
yeah,
it's
I think mine is nice. The steak's a little bit dry. The way they heated it up made me a little bit nervous. They put it in a little like basket and then stuck it in boiling water, which is kind of weird. Like
the steak?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I mean, it's not bad because like they toasted it because that's their thing. Their selling point is toasted. So like I guess Quiznos as a history, like they came about, I think in the 80s and 90s. And their big thing was that they toasted their sandwiches. Actually, an establishment that happens to be right next to our Quiznos, the one that we've gone to, Subway, they also toast their sandwiches. Which, once again, I want to reiterate, there's a Subway's next to a Quiznos.
Yeah.
So,
I must say, it seems like they've gone a little light on the meat here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of that. I'm mostly tasting just the dressing that they added, the bread, and the banana peppers.
I mean, the bread is nice.
The bread's good.
I think that was a nice bread. I have a sip of my peach Perrier. Yes, just peach.
Also, I don't know if he's been there the whole time, but we've had this undercover Maryland cop car sitting behind us for at least 5 minutes.
Chilling.
And he's not parked correctly. He's like quadruple parked. Or maybe more. I think that's probably like a sextuple park. And he's just kind of sitting there.
Is there someone in the car?
Yeah, there's somebody in the driver's seat.
So what toppings did you put on your sandwich?
So they already put the classic Italian comes with classic Italian stuff like Italian dressing. It's got the ham and pepperoni and what else do they put on theirs? Theirs are
salami, I think.
There might be salami. I didn't see it. Yeah, there it is. And I think they might have put like provolone cheese. I'm not sure. And I think I see tomatoes.
Okay.
And those went through with the toaster. Oh, and olives and banana peppers. But if I didn't say that already, and then I added some lettuce and onions to it.
I think for mine. For a moment. So for mine, I think mine comes with like sauteed onions, some provolone cheese, and then they run that through the toaster and some dressing. I added some lettuce, some onions, and some blue cheese. As a blue cheese steak, I'm in fact a fancy man. As I write with my I just take my fountain pen out, put on my turtleneck.
Take a sip of his Perrier.
Yeah, take some of my Perrier.
Perrier.
But I will say, I think I was considering getting the lobster. The lobster, I think, for the footlong is $11, which is not cheap.
No.
That's kind of out there. And so I decided to get the steak instead. Steak for the footlong was $9.
There's a lot of undercover police.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Jesus.
I was very good at identifying UC cars. There's like a thing. But I think price-wise, so the lobster is kind of expensive. The peppercorn steak footlong is $9, which for a steak sandwich, because the steak is pretty high quality, I think. I think this is probably better sandwich steak than Subway sandwich steak. The pieces are you can tell they were cut off of an actual thing. So I think the Subway steak is shredded. Yeah. I think this steak is it's actual slices. So I think that's price-wise, that's not horrible. I think Quiznos is reasonably priced. I think we can say that Quiznos is not a expensive place.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what led to their demise. Actually,
yeah. So let's talk about the story of Quiznos.
Their profit margin. So basically, in a very quick sense, what happened to Quiznos is that they would just sort of pitch to potential franchise owners that you can open a franchise for a very low cost, which is exactly the same thing that Subway does, actually, but they would make a large investment with each store too, and their claim was that it was, super profitable, and they'd tout all these numbers that just kind of weren't true, which, you would think would just kind of be fraud, but I don't know that anyone got in trouble over it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did either.
Just lots of business owners getting completely over, so that's fun.
But you may have had a Quiznos near you at one point. You probably don't anymore.
Mm-mm.
I think they went from a couple of thousand stores nationwide to 800.
Yeah,
a lot of them closed. I know there was one near me for a long time.
When you search Quiznos in the DC metro area, you get about 10 results, and I think there's only 2 or 3 that are open.
Yeah, so they were originally going to go to the one in Bethesda, Maryland. That one closed permanently. Then there's one in DC, I think on C Street, but I don't want to park in DC.
Yeah, there's one way up in the north of Baltimore.
Yeah,
it's still open. There's one in central DC, and then there's one here in Oxon Hill.
Yeah,
actually no, there's one in Lorton too. Oh my god.
So audience,
get a picture.
Yeah. Look in the show notes for an image of a vehicle that I'm capturing as we speak.
Don't be that obvious about it.
Who cares? There. If it moves it frame, but we found a very unitary vehicle. I bet he reads Tom Clancy novels. I have nothing against Tom Clancy novels, but I feel like they have a certain demographic, and this man fits. I'm assuming man. That's a man. Fits in this demographic.
I really can't see.
I saw a beard. Alright.
My god.
That's a vehicle. Let's say anything about it. You'll look in the show notes, you'll see an image. That's a vehicle.
Oh, it's got a snorkel on the other side.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Wow. And he has the brake light in the tire. Wow, okay. That's a vehicle. Anyways, Quiznos. So Quiznos, I think, throughout the 2010s, closed many, many stores. I think all of the ones near my part of Virginia closed. So, I have to drive out to Oxon Hill, Maryland for Quiznos.
Oh, like I said, there was the one in Lorton, but he was determined to make me go to the state of Maryland.
Yes, I remember last episode, Alex said, I'm going to make it a goal to never enter the state of Maryland. Last episode.
I was joking.
And here we are, the lovely state of Maryland, home of good seafood, and the Baltimore Aquarium.
And mismatching doors on Jeep Patriots.
I love the shopping center. It's a fun place. Another fun thing about the shopping center is that, there is a place called First Nails right next to a place called Zen Nail Studio, Subway next to Quiznos, and a Safeway next to a Target. I wonder how that happened.
Is there another music store? Because I see Music and Arts behind us.
I think Music and Arts has a habit of, annihilating local music stores, so probably not. No, they're really... Because, they're owned by Guitar Center.
Oh.
But they're a lot less chill. For what it's worth, Guitar Center, while things are expensive there, the employees are generally pretty chill. Music and Arts isn't always like that.
How come? Because they're owned by the same people.
They serve far more annoying clientele, so they become jaded. because 6th grader, starting first year of band, want trumpet. Play trumpet in store badly. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I think Guitar Center has relatively chill clientele. Like, it's mostly either, like, kids who will come in there once, buy a guitar, and never play it again, or just, like, old dudes that are chilling. Like, there's a video made by Music Is Win, and, like, in collaboration with Adam Neely, 2 really good music YouTubers. There go my chips. Bag is sealed. But, where they go to a Guitar Center to try and find, I don't even know his name, but the person who runs Music Is Win, they try to find him a bass, and there's this old dude just chilling there, and Adam starts like riffing, and he's like, "Man, that's a bad riff. That's a bad riff." And like, they start bullying with that dude.
Jesus.
I guess like Guitar Center clientele are a lot more chill, and so the employees are a lot more chill. Where Music and Arts, like, sometimes you get cool people. Like, my local Music and Arts has a relatively chill staff, but it's not always like that. And also, Music and Arts has much higher margins because they serve suburban moms that don't know how to price music gear.
Karen.
Like, for what it's worth, Guitar Center prices are also, all things considered, relatively reasonable. Just because, once again, they serve clientele that know more about music.
Now that you stopped, I'm gonna fold and get rid of my trash. Alright, now that I've coated myself in crumbs, final review of my Quizno sandwich. Again, it was a bit light on the meat, but it was, I think, overall well-priced and very strong in flavor, if that's what you're looking for. Banana peppers, I think they're good in moderation, but there were quite a few of them in ratio to the rest of the toppings on the sandwich. But overall, I think, you know, if I was looking for somewhere to eat on the cheap and I was out, it would be somewhere I'd consider.
Mine isn't done yet because I have a fair bit left because I got a foot long, but I will say I think so far, I think it's solid. I agree. I concur on that regard. I think the rosemary Parmesan bread is very Parmesan heavy.
It is. It's very cheesy bread.
But you can taste it.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I go for when I get cheese bread. But even as cheesy as it was, I think it was overpowered by the banana peppers.
Yeah. Mine, the blue cheese is quite strong, but that's expected of blue cheese. Like,
yeah, blue cheese does that.
Strong food. But I think it was good. I concur. I think Quizno's is a solid place. Solid place. Highly recommend.
I can see that man's pants.
This is a fun shopping center. This is a fun place.
This is the hood.
This is a fun place.
This is the hood. Oh,
I know, that's what makes
there goes the UC cop car with his lights on. I don't know what he's doing.
This is a fun place. I like this place.
What is he doing?
Where?
Behind us? I'm looking at my rear view.
He's on his way out.
Is he just like going to a call?
I guess. Yeah, my guess probably just stationed out here and like ready for calls. All that being said, we're going to rejoin you where we live on campus out of Oxon Hill, Maryland, and finish up talking about Quiznos and then hop onto Discussion Avenue.
Okay, so the transition you heard was almost a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of got busy with stuff, but Quiznos, it was good.
It was all right. Yeah.
So I think for me, it's weird. So I'm kind of like having to recall old memories and like pull them back from the ether. But I think that Quiznos has a reputation contingent on the fact that it kind of ceased existing a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I think that isn't necessarily attributable to the food.
No, it's all a financial thing.
Like I think it was mostly financial mismanagement because I'll be honest. If I was between the two, like if I was in a place where there might be a Quiznos next to a Subway, mayhaps, I'd pick the Quiznos. Like, I think it was better.
I'd probably pick the Quiznos for like the first few times until I figured out which one actually just generally has a better menu, or if like one had a sandwich that sounded good to me at the time. Yeah. I'd say they're about on par with each other.
I think the big reason that Quiznos I think is a little bit better priced. Their prices are a little more competitive, I think.
Yeah, a slight bit.
Like a dollar here or there.
I'm not sure exactly, what they charged, and I usually always get the footlong at Subway, and I can't compare apples to apples there because I didn't get the large one at Quiznos.
I mean, I know for me, the footlong I got was $9, and it was a steak sub, so it's like they're going to add a little extra for that because it's steak, right? So I think, I think it was a pretty solid experience. I was considering doing a bit where we just kind of talk about the history of the whole bankruptcy, but instead, actually not bankruptcy, just like general decline. Instead, what we'll do is in the show notes there'll be a link to a video by the Company Man, a renowned YouTuber known for making videos about
stuff like that. Yeah,
making videos about companies, as the name would imply.
Yeah, specifically companies that have an interesting backstory.
Yeah, potentially somewhere there's a rise or fall, maybe a rise again.
Maybe a bubble.
Yeah. Also, I think occasionally he reviews beans, and also does Fortnite gaming.
Yeah.
Don't need to fact check those. So I guess, would you go? Okay, if there's a Quiznos close to us, would you go to it? That isn't a half-hour drive across state lines.
Well, like I said many times, there is one that's not half an hour drive.
It's okay. It's 25 minutes, which isn't much better.
It's like 20 to 25, and it's and it's not. It's in Virginia.
Okay, I'll say that it's within the radius of restaurants.
I'm just saying, that's not the only one, but I mean, sure. It's like I said, it's on par with Subway, so it's just another restaurant to me.
So what I'm hearing is you're not a diehard Quiznos fan.
No,
you're not a Quiznos nationalist.
I'm not against Quiznos.
I'm planning on burning down a Subway.
Okay.
Yeah. So that
I'll just go to the other one because there's a Subway at every corner and a Starbucks too.
It's going to be a radius, like 15, 20 miles.
That's a lot of Subways.
There are a lot of Subways, and I have a lot of rage.
How about the Washington D.C. Subway? Are you going to burn it down too?
We don't have Subway at the Metro.
It's basically a Subway.
No, but it's called the Metro.
Yeah, but it's can be thought of as a Subway.
Yeah, it can be thought of like that, but it's a Metro.
Yeah, so you're going to burn it?
No, I'm not going to burn it because it's a Metro. It's not a Subway.
But like it can be thought of as a Subway.
It can also be thought of as a tube.
Yeah, it could be thought of as a tube.
And tubes are fine.
Okay. What about carbon nanotubes?
Carbon nanotubes are fine. And with that, let's get the Discussion Avenue transition part 1 of chat. And combine it in some way with Discussion Avenue part 2 transition of debate on Discussion Avenue.
I hated that.
That indicates the kind of mood we're in right now. Midterms are happening.
Yeah, midterms are happening. I had one today. I had one yesterday. Both of them were pretty easy, which is that's fine by me because I've been super busy doing a non-midterm related project this week that I still haven't finished because it's impossible. Apparently, I don't know.
It's just not possible.
I've done a super long derivation of a formula like 3 times now, and I get the same answer, and apparently that answer's not right because like when you check it, it gives you the wrong number, and it's infuriating. I spent all of the lab last night, working with the TA who also couldn't figure it out, and yeah, I'm just really done with that. I just want that lab to be behind me, but it just won't.
It's just sitting there legion on you.
Yeah.
What were the last 2 exams you had?
So the one I had earlier today was computer science. It's programming for engineers, basically an intro C class. It's pretty easy. Everybody says C is really hard, but this professor makes C just as easy as possible.
If else,
you know? Pointers are variables that point to other variables.
I can't believe he actually said that.
Yeah.
What about references?
It's like kind of the same thing, but
like they're technically different. They're not the same thing. Java has a garbage collector, C bad.
Java's garbage collector is awful.
Anyway. At least it has one.
We've had this very discussion before.
Have we?
Yeah, and you said the same thing.
I don't remember it.
Well, we did. I'm pretty sure it might even have been on the show when I was talking about C. But anyway, one I had yesterday was an analog circuit analysis class, and that exam was very easy. I find that whole class very easy. For some reason, the rest of the class doesn't.
You just get it?
I guess I just get it. I don't know. It's just not very hard. Maybe they just don't understand our professor very well, which maybe I could understand that. I don't know.
Anything else this week?
I got completely let's say, rammed in the posterior by the same class that has this lab that I still can't finish on Monday. It's just like...
Exam?
No, it was just...
Just generally?
Just generally. Oh, we did have an exam in there a while ago, and I got it back yesterday, and I got a much, much higher grade than I was anticipating. I got an 89.5,
Nice.
and the class average was in the 70s somewhere, and the highest grade, I think, was a 92 or 3. So I was not far off.
No, that is not bad.
I was not expecting that. I was fully expecting a C.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Looking forward to spring break.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to spring break. I really need
I know. And I'm gonna leave tomorrow morning-ish, maybe about at noon, and then I'm gonna immediately get home and then head off to I guess if my family is the Moonmen, we're gonna head off to Mars.
Okay, you're heading out to Mars.
Yeah, we're gonna go check in with the Martians.
Yeah, they're gonna have a little hop across space, little space hop.
Yeah, little space hop through the mountains,
Yeah, little. I mean, space mountains.
Space mountains.
Space Mountain. You're going to Disneyland. That's where it is. That's where he's going. He's going to Florida, wherever Space Mountain is. This is in Florida.
I've never been to Disneyland, and I don't plan on ever going to Disneyland. And no, Disneyland is in California. Disney World is in Florida. Don't ask me why I know that.
Is it from the amusement park YouTube channel? Who made the thing on the one in New Jersey, Action Park?
No, I don't usually watch his stuff. I just found that one video particularly interesting because there's a lot of people that died there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
not something you want to hear about an amusement park anywhere really, but especially an amusement park.
No, yeah, that place had some serious negligence issues going on there.
Yeah,
I'd recommend watching that video. It was really interesting.
Show notes, link to the show notes.
Sure,
link to the show notes. And so it was done.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that should be all.
I've had an interesting... So, back in the car, we did technically record a part of a discussion avenue.
It was just bad.
It was just bad, and the recording conditions were weird, and we were getting sussed out by a cop car. And so we're just kind of you know what, we're going to scrap that. So I have to go back about 2-ish weeks. Wow, okay. Midterms have been in full force for me. They've all just kind of overlapped. I had math, I had... macro 2 days ago, macroeconomics. I had development economics today. Those all went well enough. Then yesterday something fun happened. Yesterday I had a departmental recital. So I'm in 2 jazz bands, right? Small band, big band. And of course, the small one by Mr. Chill, the big one by Dr. Phil.
Mr. Chill and Dr. Phil.
Mr. Chill's real chill. He's so chill.
It's quite a pair of names.
Yeah, it is a pair of names, just like chicken and waffles. It's kind of this is my vibe this semester. So my small band is not that small. It's kind of big. It is 10 people, right? 10 people. Small band for reference.
Smaller big band.
Yeah, it's basically a small big band. At this point, it's just a small big band. We could just play big band charts, but okay, almost play big band charts. For reference, a big band is a band where you have 5 saxophones normally, 5 trombones, 5 trumpets, a full rhythm section, so an upright bass, drums, keys, guitar, maybe vocalists. That's a normal big band. It's a big band. Then my big band also has steel pans, who are delightful. Yeah, and I do mean that, I'm not being sarcastic. They're actually just great dudes. They're really chill. But, so, my small band is, we have, we have 2 trumpets, a drummer, we have a pianist, vocalist, we have myself, 2 guitarists, then we have someone who whistles. Jazz whistling is a thing.
Yeah,
it is a tradition in jazz. It's definitely diminished in recent years, especially in fusion. Let's say jazz fusion whistlers, but there's a tradition there. There's a lot of great jazz standards that are whistle tunes, and so our sound check was around 11ish, right? So we pull up, I'm arrived there a little bit early. I'm just hanging out in backstage, and it's kind of spooky because if you've ever been alone backstage and there's sudden rumbling, you kind of freak out because there was sudden rumbling. But so we all get there. It's 5 minutes before check. So I guess for those of you who aren't really familiar with the logistics of musical performance, normally before you have a show, you will have a sound check, and that's basically where you go up. They check your mics, they check your levels. They go levels, test. That's how you play a few notes. May or may not be what we do before the show. But yeah, that's the whole idea of the sound check, right? And then also lets you, like, if there's any last-minute rehearsal you want to do, like you need to cut a section or whatever, that's what you do. All of that whole world is during sound check, right?
Yeah, I really prefer to not do that and then just have some major feedback loops while performing for an audience. They love that.
Yeah, no, I think they do. They really do. But so it was 5 minutes before check, and our whistler hadn't showed up. And we're like, oh, I mean, maybe he's like sick or whatever. And like, once again, in a small band departmental recital, they're not super strict on attendance. They're like, oh, as long as he shows up. Like, I think as Mr. Chill says, as long as he arrives for the downbeat, which is the first beat of this first song. The first beat of a song is called like, okay, the downbeat is the first beat of a measure, and it's typically used to refer to the first beat of the song, right? So it's like a joke Mr. Chill made. So we got through check, he's not there. And now we're approaching the downbeat. Our show was like at 12-ish, and so then we're just kind of chilling out backstage. So there's like another small band playing as well, so they're doing their check. We're hanging out. I was trying to play Minecraft backstage. I couldn't, unfortunately. Like, I think last time I was back there, I sent Alex, because he was in the audience, I sent him a meme about meth babies while I was backstage.
Yes, that did happen.
Yep, that did happen. Meth babies.
Was that the same night we met your dad?
Yes, it was the same night I met my dad. But anyway, so we're hanging out, we're chilling. I think my keys player, my piano player, went to get some food and come back because he plays piano, so he doesn't have to worry about getting stuff in his horn. Although actually for that particular gig, he did have a horn out, but that's beside the point. And so it's 5 minutes before the downbeat, and we're thinking, we should call him. We should check to make sure he like isn't dead or something. But then in the end, at least for this specific set, he didn't have a super prominent role. Like, I think he was like soloing in a couple of pieces, and we thought, okay, fine, we can just cut the solos. It's not that big a deal. Like, we just only go through one solo section. So we go on stage, right? Great show. We're all doing pretty good. Everyone was vibing. Audience was enjoying it. It was a good time. The other band, phenomenal. They did really, really good. Like, they were all awesome. And I know a lot of people there, and like, they're all just super talented people, and they're all great. Super good show. Great all around. So then I come back, right? I get undressed, get out of my suit that I was wearing. I get into comfortable clothes, kick back on the couch, and then my phone buzzes. And I see a notification in the group chat for the band from our whistler. Holy shoot. I just woke up.
Who sleeps that late accidentally, like when they have something
Allow me to finish. I set alarms for 9 o'clock and then 9:07. And maybe the sound was turned off. Or something.
Shoot. Frick.
I'm sorry. Once again, I think these happen, and I made that nice intentional.
Okay, well, thanks to Audition for just kind of eating us.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. So like I was saying, and I made sure to enunciate those phrases so that our friend, the speech whatever thingy, what's the name? The voice emulator? Microsoft Sam, so he can say them nice and long and fill up the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get it. That's happened to me before, like, a few years ago.
It's not Microsoft Sam, it's Microsoft David.
Oh. I think
Microsoft
on mine...
Sam's the very old one.
You should install Microsoft Sam.
I just, no. I refuse.
I'll steal your computer and install Microsoft Sam.
You're not going to be able to.
I will email you... I'll send you an email with a green download button for the software you want. It'll actually just put on Microsoft Sam.
I'll probably fall for that one.
Yeah, big green download button. Free download.
Working 2017.
Yeah, working 2017. Actually, not for 2018. Or 2016. I don't mind a bit of vintage. I like a vintage 2016. But so anyway, I've had those moments before where it's like you have a show or something. Like one of my first marching band shows, I slept through because it was a morning show we were doing for like a thing for middle schoolers.
Until 2 p.m.
Yeah, it was bad. And like once again,
no, I'm not saying you did.
Yeah.
That guy. 2
Who'll go
p.m.
unnamed. Like, see, the best part was no one said anything in the chat for half an hour. No one said anything. Because we were all joking about, like, oh, what's his punishment going to be for ditching? Right? Because, I mean, that's just what you do. Like, his band hazing's a thing. Like, none of us are, like, particularly mean, but, like, if you mess up, it's playful teasing. We're considering some extra playful teasing. Like, nothing bad, because bullying's bad. But, like, no one said anything for half an hour, and I was like, should I say something? Because, like, on one hand, like, I take, coming from having had a band director who was very, very strict on attendance, I care a lot about being on time for music stuff. Like, that's important to me, that you show up on time.
I think just generally to me, that's important, is being prompt.
But for me, like, especially in music, like, I always try to be there 5 to 10 minutes early, if not like 15, because to quote my old band director, to be early is to be on time is to be late, and to be late is to have your liver sold on eBay. So
on eBay.
On eBay. Sometimes it's a kidney, sometimes a liver.
I don't think eBay policy allows for that.
This was back in the day.
Oh man.
This was back in the day. It would vary, but so I don't know, for me that's a big deal, and like I like I said, especially in music, I take that seriously. I take attendance seriously. So we were Josh around, but it was fine. I haven't seen him, and I'm not going to see him till after spring break. So I wonder what our first rehearsal is going to be like. Because I kind of hope we hit the ground running. Because the thing with this band is that since we're playing small band charts, but in a 1.5 size band, where we do some light arranging, where we're like, okay, horns are going to come in here. We're going to do this kind of stuff, and so to get the ball rolling for us takes a little while. Like, it takes 15 minutes, which is, if I'm going to be honest, longer than I would like, but it is what it is. Like, realistically, you want to have the ball rolling within 5 minutes. Like, everyone gets there, takes a warm up, get going. I get that's just how it is. But so, hopefully we won't have to include a reprimanding session, because he seemed genuinely, like, remorseful. Like, it's fine. It's fine. But just general word of advice. Don't set just 2 alarms. Set, like, 5. Like, if it's a big deal, set, like, just hours before.
And, yes,
don't sleep.
On different devices, too. Yeah. That way, if your phone's screwed up or something, it's not just your phone.
Or just, like train a bird to, like, pull up at the right time and just get you.
Yeah, just own a rooster.
Yeah. See, as someone who had a pet rooster for a while, they never crow when you want them to. It's incredibly annoying.
Right, why would they?
Like, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. just going off. Fuck you, George, you dead fucking... I hope you're rotting right now.
I feel like you don't feel that way about George. George
was pretty chill.
Yeah, you're the reason why George lived as long as he did.
I'm surprised you remember that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, when I was living in Ethiopia so one of the Ramadan traditions is that, like, for the second one, you get some kind of animal, you like, ritualistically slaughter it. That makes it sound really primitive, but really just kind of, like, kill it for the meat. And then you distribute the meat to the poor. You keep some for yourself and then distribute it. In hindsight, what I did was fucked up. I just realized that.
You were a child.
See, because we got a rooster. And we're like, oh, they're gonna give the rooster to the poor, and I insisted my parents let me keep it as a pet. And I somehow made that work. Somehow, as a second grader, I managed to convince my parents to let me have a rooster.
I mean...
while living in a city.
I mean, I guess it had its own, like, fence outside, so...
Yeah, it had a little patch that he roamed around in. But I had George for many years. He got chicken AIDS and died.
R.I.P. George.
Yeah, R.I.P. George. That's why you don't mess with those thoughts. Like, to quote Gucci Mane...
Was George
without sauce,
you'll... thoughts?
Well, no, George, okay, but, like, cause George's out with them thoughts.
Alright, so that's
he says, like, my brother, for his birthday at one point, got a hen.
Oh.
That we named Georgina. Instead of, like, Georgia, whatever. And so, like, to quote Gucci Mane, without the sauce, you lost, but you also get lost in the sauce. And when the reporter asks, what gets you lost in the sauce? His response,
hey girl. Hey girl.
Get you lost in the sauce. You gotta have seasoning. One of the greatest things I've ever seen, I think. That was a we've gone really in a direction.
Yes, we have.
I don't even know how we got here.
I don't either.
Okay, so...
But I think that about...
I'll see if I can... Rooster crowing, right? Alarms, to the rooster, to the thoughts.
Yeah, to the babies.
Okay,
right.
Yeah. But so...
We've successfully backtracked just in time to I think...
We have backtracked long enough, farther back enough to remind you that the Sleepdrunk podcast can be found on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, including, but not limited to, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube.
Gamer site.
And on that horrible disappointment, make sure to share the show with your family, friends,
bandmates,
coworkers,
Rooster,
miscellaneous erotic camera viewing sites.
And also Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane, make sure to tweet it to Gucci Mane.
Yo, Guwop, if you're listening, like,
tweet it to what was the name of that rapper that's in prison and just like keeps getting access to Twitter?
No, Kodak Black does it to the class. Like, he has one of his boys pull up and he like tells him what to tweet.
All right, well, who's the one that like just shouldn't have a phone?
Okay, Tay K took a picture in his cell and posted it on Instagram.
Yeah, Tay K.
Let's DM Tay K's Instagram.
Free Tay K, and we'll catch you next week.
Catch you next week. That was really weird.